Okay, so here we are at the wrap-up demo for Summer Sprint 3. We're wrapping this one up a little early this time because we made really good progress across all of level 3. So a few things that are going to carry over for cleanup into Sprint 4. But for the most part, pretty much everything is ready to go. With the level 3 of Summoner, which of course is the level that you unlock your subclass at. The subclasses being Occultist and Planeswalker. So, starting off right with the bread and butter, the Occultist at level 3 will gain the Winged Horror. This little guy right here is very interested in the ground for some reason. Yeah, so, and this guy, we've given him a fly ability because he has the wings, so he's quite mobile. He's got 24 hit points and 16 strength, 16 dex, 10 con, 7 int, 10 wisdom, and 6 charisma. And then immunity to poison damage, as he is a twisted horror from beyond man's understanding. We've given this guy the ability to use Arms of Hadar as a bonus action, so he can fly in, throw down Arms of Hadar, fly out, so on, so on. We've also given him Ray of Fear, which requires targeting a enemy, but we've given it to him as a action, and once per turn. So once per turn, he can fear somebody, fly around, and as a bonus action, uses Arms of Hadar. And then because the Planeswalker summons started to get quite good during playtesting, we decided to buff this guy just a little bit further still, and we've given him something really, truly powerful, and that is the ability to summon the Hunger of Hadar, so he can do Arms of Hadar and Hunger of Hadar. But we've made this a unique version to this summon, and it will only last for 2 rounds. So it won't stick around very long, but he can do it. He can do it pretty much once per turn, I believe, is the way we set it up during combat. Like I said, there's a couple of cleanup things still to go through. For example, here it's saying 10 turns, but it's actually 2. So there's still a couple of things that need to be cleaned up. But we were really excited to get on to level 4, and it will be a lot smaller set of edits than the previous levels. So we figured we could just get it started and start working on those things too and carry things over. So, yeah, moving on. Let's take a look at the Archer. And I'm quite satisfied with the Archer. He's obviously got his proficiencies and standard things like jumping, disengage, and all of that. But we've also decided to give him the cunning actions. So as a bonus action, he can dash, disengage, or hide. And we've given him 3 Alchemist Fires, 3 Grease Bottles, and 3 Health Potions. He can consume the Health Potions himself, or he can go ahead and, throw them to allies. So it's kind of got dual purpose there. Of course, he can also throw his Grease Bottle and his Alchemist Fire in the same fashion, allowing for some pretty interesting combos. And of course the standard bow. And in addition to these abilities, and a vial of Wyvern Poison, of course, to poison his bow mid-combat, should that be something useful to you. But in addition to these powers, we've also given him a unique ability here called Summon Shot, and these draw off of the Arcane Arrow source, so he's got 7 per short rest, which is quite a few, but these things are only really dealing 1d8 plus 2d6, so at level 3 that's not too terribly overpowered. And And during testing, we originally had this set to about like 2 or 3, and it just felt like he was running out so fast, especially compared to what these other summons are capable of doing, and he was having to resort to just only range attacking quite often. But what we've done is we've taken this, and he has ice arrows, fire arrows, lightning arrows, darkness arrows, and of course, everybody's favorite, the thunder arrow. Now, as previously stated, one of the things to be cleaned up here, you can see this AoE is a little misleading, so that will get cleaned up in Sprint 4 and come in the next release. Okay, so I think that's it for Archer here. Let's look here at the Knight, another one that I'm quite excited to start using and getting more playtesting in. With the Knight, we've basically made him the ultimate shield master. He can push somebody by shoving them with his shield for a large distance. He can bonus action shield blow to knock somebody prone. He's been given trip shot, menacing attack, maneuvering attack, pushing attack, and disarming attack, the classic melee battle maneuvers, but he does only have 2 superiority dice per short rest, and this is because and rally as well, and this is because we've also given him the action surge ability, which is available only in combat, of course. But we've set it up like the wolf, where this is usable once per turn. We did not allow him to double dash because I didn't want the Knight to be more mobile or as mobile as the Archer. But he is capable of dashing and attacking in the same turn thanks to Action Surge. So this is why he doesn't have too many superiority dice. He's also been given a potion of speed, which allows him to attack yet again. So right out the summon, he can attack 3 times, which is really good. And we've given him 5 health potions, so he can stick around the fight. Do note that their inventories are locked, and they can't trade or drop or pick up anything. So whatever these humanoid summons are, their stuff is locked. So only the summons can use these items. Same with the Archer, with his potions and stuff like that, with the exception of them being capable of throwing the potion at somebody. For the most part, only they can use it. But the Knight here makes a perfect summon to pair alongside with the wolf, which I'll go over how you can do that here in a moment. But just as a blitz summon that just charges in and messes up a bunch of guys on the way out, sticks around for a little while, and really just kind of vanguards the fight and can get things going. So yeah, he's quite fun to use in combat. Moving on, we have the Mage, who was frankly one of the most frustrating summons I've ever had to set up. Turns out putting a lot of magic on a guy is pretty difficult. One of the quirky things in this version of the release that you'll notice here is that he seems to have chromatic orange orb, but these are actually magic missile, and they're different levels of magic missile. So the first one is the first level spell slot, and the other one is the second level spell slot. Currently, the team is working on being able to clean this up, but when it came to higher cast spells, we just found that we were having a really difficult time putting the class on there. So for release purposes, we figured this would work, this would be good. We've given him 1 arcane recovery, so he is able to get back 1 level 1 spell slot. He comes with 2 level 2 spell slots and 2 level 1 spell slots, so in total you're able to cast 5 spells across the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain these spells to anybody, but he himself is capable of casting spells like Find Familiar and Flaming Orb, so he is a summon that can summon other summons in combat as well as Cloud's daggers. So yeah, I think that kind of just goes without saying that this guy is pretty good. We've given him the classic things like mage armor and all of that. The only thing outside of what you might expect from a standard, more wizard-leaning magic caster is we've also given him guidance, so he can have some utility outside of combat. We didn't want to only give the mage, combat-based abilities, so we've also given him things like Gust of Wind, Enlarge Reduce, and Knock, so he has some utility spells as well. And yeah, we kind of wanted the mage to be halfway leaning to useful out of combat and also useful in combat. So just guidance alone automatically makes any companion really good to have around. So yeah, he also has things like Featherfall, Long Strider, and stuff of that nature. So yeah, that wraps up the unique summoner companions you get with your subclasses here. But there's still more to go through here. So with the occultist, under your conjure lesser summons, you will learn to conjure an imp and conjure a quasit, kind of similar to Pack of the Chains from the warlock class. However, our version for the summoner class is a little different. So this imp, in addition to all of the standard other imp stuff and a increase to stats, has a firebolt. So we can cast a firebolt. And really that's honestly the only difference, because the Pack of Chain summons are already really, really strong. Like, this dude has, like, at-will permanent invisibility. He can fly, so he can zip-zap around. Like, yeah, I didn't feel like anything other than stat bonuses and a new spell would be needed to kind of really make these guys stand out.
Keep your distance, darling.
We'll circle back here.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
No, actually, I think I can. Yeah, I can use my short rest.
Well,
okay.
Some rest's better than none.
So, the other one, the quasit. Let's just bring this guy up. With the quasit, kind of in the same vein, small little stat boost. Yep, stat boost to his stuff here. In addition to all of the standard quasit actions that we all know and love, like his fear ability and his permanent invisibility like the imp, we've also given him Eldritch Blast. I just love that animation on that guy. Just look at that. Look at how fun this is. Look at this little guy. Boom. Yeah. So
what a day.
You have a significantly stronger set of summons there. For Planeswalker, in case you haven't experienced this yet or missed one of the previous videos during the development demos, you gain Conjure Flump, and you'll summon 2 of them. And we've all seen the Flump before, so this is nothing too exciting or new. And in case it wasn't mentioned before, the Flump can now summon another Flump that will explode at the end of its round. This is really fun in combat and chaotic because there's no way of knowing when the Flump is going to actually explode. It just will happen randomly at the end of one of the turns. So yeah, you summon 2 of these guys. You can throw up a bunch of Flumps. You can hit the target with like some Ray of Frost, make it harder for them to get away, and then just kind of pray it explodes on them because you never know when it's going to go off. But it's just really fun and chaotic. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying the Flumps. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the changes to the summons, which is less, honestly, than some of the previous sprints that we've done, which is how we were able to wrap this one up pretty quickly. There are still a few other things, though, that I have to go over. One of the biggest changes coming out in this next release is that we have changed the stacks of things. So the winged horror is on a occultist summon stack, and the rest of those summons are on their own stack. So now, as an occultist or as a planeswalker, when you reach these classes, you will gain the power spike of being able to summon more summons to your side. So here I've summoned the winged horror, but I'm still able to summon a hyena, and it doesn't take away my winged horror. So you'll see here as a this version of Asterion as a summoner has his winged horror, his Quasit, and his hyena, and we've done the same thing with the lesser summons because we've gone through and we've changed these names now to Conjure Lesser Summon and Conjure Summon instead of Find Familiar and Summoner Adept. But I can also still summon in a Raven with the bunch, and it won't take away my Imp. So yeah, if I just section this guy out and have him and all of his little summon minions follow him around, yeah, this is just one example of one of the sets of summons you can permanently bring around with you as a level 3 occultist with this class mod. We've also made a unique form of the Flame Blade and the Shadow Blade. So I'm the occultist. Only the occultist will gain the Shadow Blade, but the planeswalker does also gain Flame Blade. So yeah, with this, I can bring forth the Shadow Blade, and yeah, it'll just permanently stick around here. So yeah, in that same idea of being able to summon a weapon, because I just thought that that was so in line with the whole theme of Summoner, if I pop over here to this character, let's go to your spells and give you Flame Blade. We have made Flame Blade so that it also lasts until a long rest. So now you can summon forth a Flame Blade, and it will just last until you short rest. And I think it would be cool in this demo to show off more of the combinations of things I can summon. So here, as just kind of an example of something that might be like a little bit more of a frontline summoner that has people who back her up, I'll resummon my Archer just to show the difference in the action resources here. And then I'll summon in the Flumps. We'll summon in the Flump army. We'll make this the Flump example. So yeah, I've got a total of 7 Flumps here, plus an Archer. And let's go ahead and bring forth... Let's bring forth the Spider. I think that would combo really well. This looks like a summoner set that would combo really, really well. So yeah. That's just another example of what you can do at level 3 as a planeswalker.
What to do?
Okay, let's look at our next over here.
Have to keep going.
Move you over here. So the next thing that we've done with our spells is we've gone in and we've adjusted Flaming Sphere as well. There are some things with the Flaming Sphere summon that need to be cleaned up, things like going over ladders and having better jumps and action abilities, because this thing was never really intended to last until you long rest, but we decided to make it that way. It still costs you a level 2 spell slot. This summon specifically will cost spell slots, not conjure powers like your other summons, the lesser summons and the regular summons. But this guy now, when you cast the Flaming Sphere spell through the summoner, it will stick around forever. So yeah, here I have that guy. I might summon the Knight. Have me... let's get the Wolf. I think the Wolf would go really well in a group like this. I just like having fun with these. As a planeswalker, I will always be able to summon at least 2 Flumps, so that is nice. And the planeswalker, as it levels up will also obviously gain more lesser summons, but because you start with 3 major summons that you can select between, we figured only starting off 1 lesser summon was fair. And then let's summon the cat. Yeah, let's summon the cat, because the cat has the healing word and all that stuff. Boom, look at that. Look at this. Look at this other little group right here. That would be a really strong frontliner with a caster style summoner. So yeah, that's pretty much covers the big changes, the biggest changes to summoner. Pretty much across the whole spectrum here. What else? Oh, yes. The other big things that we've done, which I will go over here in a second through the character levels, is that we've gone in and we've adjusted the icon. Full disclosure, it is still just currently AI generated imagery that has been touched up inside of GIMP post generation, but really truly it is nothing special and will be replaced one day. But for now, we've cleaned up the summoner icon and have added icons for the subclasses, as you can see down here. So now the planeswalker and the occultist have their own little icon as well.
Shouldn't wish to live in more interesting
for the
times.
hotbar and all of that good stuff. So yeah. So the other big thing coming through here is we've gone in and we've put progression descriptions and adjusted character creation just a touch. So I'm going to pull up my menu and we are going to respec. And we're going to respec this tab here. So there's the summoner. I'm going to keep these the same. We did remove Firebolt from this list. However, you will gain access to Firebolt if you choose to go down the Planeswalker subclass tree. But for starting out, we thought that Produce Flame was a little bit more summoner holistic. And Firebolt tends to overshadow Produce Flame. And there may or may not be additional pre-release subclasses under discussion. Post-release subclasses under discussion that wouldn't have Firebolt at all, kind of like Occultist. So we've removed that from the starting set. When you're creating your character now, you'll be able to come here and see that your presets are actually now set to something that makes sense. You'll still have to select your assign 2, assign 1 bonus and your proficiency skills. We haven't quite nailed down how to make that automatic yet. But if I hit confirm here and then go through my level ups, you'll see now that we have implemented it so that the level up screen will show you everything that you are actually getting. So here, you're unlocking the level 1 spell slot and the conjure summon. You prepare your cells, so on, and you go on. Okay, so here we've made it to level 3, where I would choose my subclass. I will select Planeswalker, and once again you see they both have their icons. They look almost identical because once again this is really is just AI generated slop. But hey, for filler work it works for right now. Yeah, so here we go. We have the cantrips expanded. You'll see right there, Firebolt now an option. So now as a Planeswalker I can pick that up and I unlock 4 spells. In the same fashion of how we have set things up, Find Familiar is now truly its own thing, separate from Conjure Lesser Summon. And what that means is that you can actually now find a familiar and it does not mess up your does not mess up your conjure. So words are not always the best at explaining things, but visuals work really, really well. So we are going to give you a live example of that. Let's go here to my prepared spells. Get rid of Misty Step for right now. Put on Find Familiar. Eventually, as well, these conjure things will have icons, so this can get a little confusing with the sharing of the icon, but yeah. For this phase of development, we truly are just focused on just playtesting, and then in the final phase, we'll comb over all of the needed artistic assets and things like that. So, yeah, so here we go. Find Familiar. I'll go ahead and I will summon a Raven. And that is now on my Find Familiar stack. And I will come here to my Conjure Lesser Summon, and I will conjure a Raven. And as you see, I can now have both of the Ravens here and in the game, which is just great and wonderful and awesome. And also, I'm a Planeswalker, so I can have 2 Flumps. So I will always take my 2 Flumps and go. Yeah. And then let's pull the Mage. This is an example of a full caster group, you know, just like full-on caster, and then oozes for the front line. And that's just another example. And across the whole party, obviously, this gets pretty crowded, but we're really not concerned about those logistics at all. I mean, obviously, this class would be great for a lone wolf run. But yeah, we're not too concerned about a party of 4 summoners. I think honestly that sounds really fun and chaotic, personally. All right, so that is pretty much it for the changes to the spells, the summons, and all of those things. The one last thing that I gotta show you here before I pop out and reload the editor, so I can show you the way leveling up works, or sorry, character creation works for selecting the class. But here we go. If you come into spells and you check here, we have now implemented it so that you can learn spells from spell scrolls. Now, quick stipulation about this: the summoner themselves have no listed learnable spells in their spell scroll list, and this is by design. The Planeswalker, however, does. And the intent is that pretty much only Planeswalkers were originally intended to learn spells, but you can only make that work if the root class can also learn spells, which also, unfortunately, extends to its subclasses as well. So they either all can learn spells or they all cannot learn spells. So we have made it so that you can learn spells, or at least I believe that it cascades down to the children. So here even the occultist can learn spells. However, the occultist spell scroll list is also empty. So in theory, only planeswalkers only planeswalkers should be capable of learning spells, traditional spells from spell scrolls. With this change as well, it actually kind of works well with a future plan the team has to implement unique summoner-specific spell scrolls, and those we will plan to add to the summoner and occultist spell scroll list so that they can learn those spells. The idea behind it is that we might place cool and unique summon spells as spell scrolls you can learn in fun and or hidden locations, like maybe a goblin-based summon that you have to find somewhere inside of the Selûne Temple or something like that, or maybe something even cooler like a divine summon of some sort also in like, you know, a place like the temple or something like that. That's just tucked away and forgotten about, that once you find, you can learn and reuse as a summoner, or just end up, you know, burning it if you're not a summoner and you don't have a summoner in your party. But anyways, that's a rant and side tangent off to the side. That covers pretty much everything to show you in the editor. So yeah, here I'm going to cut the video, pop out, and show you what character creation looks like in the actual game. Okay. Alright, here we are back in the game. Please excuse the window mode. Yeah, but here we are in game with the mod running. So let's go ahead and just select my favorite race to play as. And scroll down, and there it is, Summoner with the new icon. We'll just select that. And you'll see here now that it also has your proficiency descriptions, and we've revisited our proficiencies. So in addition to the light armor and the quarterstaff, we've added light crossbows, daggers, clubs, scimitars, and short bows. So you have a little bit more to work with martial options. This isn't really a martial class, so the focus really isn't there, but only being proficient with quarterstaffs was really hindering. So yeah, we went through and we've changed all of those things. And you'll see here on a fresh character creation, if I come to the abilities, there's now an actual set preset of abilities. Ability scores, or I should say recommended scores, for you to play as. So obviously the logic here is that 8 strength, you aren't a martial class, you're really not supposed to be doing too much with martial anything. Dexterity 12, because it just gives you a bonus to your armor class and makes you a little bit better with some of your ranged and finesse weapons, of which the dagger and scimitar are. Intelligence recommended at 13. This is for your skills, and also because the Planeswalker's primary spellcaster for Planeswalker spells is intelligence. So that's been set to 13, and then wisdom 10, because you know, I didn't want you to have bad wisdom or good wisdom. We'd recommended just regular wisdom. And obviously charisma 15, because you are a charisma caster primarily in the core of your class. So here at character creation, I often find now that I just do this when I want to be a planeswalker. Or I'll go in and do something like this if I plan on being an occultist. So yeah, that is pretty much the big changes all wrapped up in a neat nutshell, and this concludes our Summer Sprint 3. Thanks again so much for following the project, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.